Hi my lovies and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be, I was like getting up out of my chair there. Today's video is going to be products that are worth the hype, or are they? I don't know, we're going to find out soon. These are basically products that are so highly hyped online. I'm going to discuss with you guys, are they worth the hype? So I'm going to kickstart this video off on one of the most hyped about products I think in like late 2016. Everybody and their mother talks about this and I had to go and buy it just to see, was it worth the hype? So this is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. It's tricky enough to get your hands on this. I know Ulta sell it, but here in Ireland it's not the easiest. I got mine off QVC and it arrived kind of rapidly. I have talked about this in my monthly favorites, so I'm going to discuss this once more if you missed all of that. The Tarte Shape Tape Concealer is described as a high coverage concealer. The majority of people bought this concealer because of its high coverage and it's well able to cover up those under eye circles. This is a fabulous concealer, but is it worth the hype? To be honest, to me, it's not. I just think this is very overhyped. Maybe if I had really dark under eye circles, I might understand this a little bit more. Like, you can see how high coverage that is. Wow. Like, it is super duper high coverage. It's amazing. Like, this is like a foundation. It could literally cover up everything. But I don't have hugely dark under eye circles. So perhaps that's why I don't love this as much as everybody else, or I don't rave about it as much as everyone else. It is a favorite of mine, but I don't feel like I can't live my life without it, if that makes any sense. Whereas my Naked Skin Concealer, which only has about 1 or 2 applications left, like as soon as this is gone, I need another one. Like, I cannot bear to not have this concealer. It is so amazing and probably the best product that Urban Decay actually have ever released. It's amazing. The Tarte Shape Tape, I love it. It's great. It's a wonderful concealer, but the hype is, you know, if you can't get it, like, so be it, like, whatever, you get it again. But I just don't understand, it's constantly out of stock and everybody's like rushing to get it and killing each other over it. Like, it's a great concealer, but it's not worth that hassle. Also, mine smells citrusy and I can't bear it. I talked about this the last time I was discussing the concealer, how I did really enjoy it and I loved the effect that it gave and whatever. But the scent of it is like overpowering for me. Some people ask me, did I get a dud? No, I didn't get a dud because I have 2 of them and I have them in 2 different shades, so they're from different batches obviously, and they both have this citrus scent. Some of my followers said that they can smell it, some of them said they didn't. I am highly sensitive to smell. I mean highly. I don't know if it's because I suffer from migraines, like that's a whole other issue, because even if somebody's making coffee or has a disgusting perfume on and they're like 4 doors away from me, I can still smell it. Ugh. I just have a really heightened sense of smell and I can smell this and I don't like the scent of it. It doesn't like trigger anything or anything like that, but it's just not my favorite scent. It's very citrusy. It's a great concealer. If you can get it, brilliant. If you can't, you're not missing out on that much, in my opinion. The Naked Concealer is definitely more of a favorite for me. But that's just me personally, don't attack me, okay? My next product. The Modern Renaissance. You guys know I have to talk about this in this video because, hello, is this not the most hyped palette of 2016 ever? Like, I mean, I can't comprehend how many people talk about this, love it, do tutorials with it. It's such a popular palette. And you know what, guys? I agree with everybody. The hype over this palette is completely justified. It is beautiful. Can we look at the shades here? Huh? Aren't they just stunning? There's so much warmth in this palette. The shades are gorgeous. They're so pigmented. Ooh, the pigmentation of this palette is just incredible. Like, just look at how pigmented those shadows are. They're incredible. And they swatch and blend out like a dream. Wow, I'm really bad at swatching. They're nearly too pigmented that you have to be careful with how much you actually apply of them. It is 40, maybe 45 euro, 49 euro, something like that. It is worth every cent to me. I can't stress how much I love this palette. It is definitely my top palette. It's actually one of my favorite. It is my favorite palette at the moment, and I can't see myself changing my mind anytime soon. I highly recommend it. All the rave about this is 100% justified. It's amazing. I want to talk a little bit about a bronzer. This bronzer is the Hoola bronzer from Benefit. This is such an overly hyped product. I mean, everybody talks about it. Everybody's heard about it. I get questions actually weekly about this bronzer, if it's worth the hype. Do I recommend it? What do I think of it? You definitely won't be able to see it there, but I've swatched it at the top. It's nearly the same color as my skin tone right now because Mr. Sun was out last week here in Ireland and I was out in the back garden sunning myself. Yes, I do recommend it. It is an amazing, amazing bronzer. The only downfall to this is it's just a bronzer. And it's 35 or 33 euro or something like that in Ireland. However, I do feel if maybe you're just a bit kind of hesitant to buy it because of the price tag, that I would say don't bother. Maybe instead go with the butter bronzer because, oh my god, I love this. Now the bronze tone, this is just beautiful. And in my opinion, it's not too unlike Hoola, like it really isn't. I'm wearing the butter bronzer on my cheeks today on my like contouring, and I actually use this a lot more. So if you want to spend the money on Hoola, you won't regret it. It's a beautiful bronzer. If you don't have the money and you're contemplating it, I'm not 100% sure that you would actually need it. The butter bronzer, however, on the other hand, I would pick that one over this one, and it smells amazing as well. But that's just my 2 cents on it. Hoola is amazing. Is it worth the hype? Yes. Do you need it? No. If you don't want to buy it, you definitely are not going to be like missing out on anything if you don't get it. Next, I'm going to talk about lip products, and these are the Colourpop Ultra Matte. The matte, not the satin. These are the matte liquid lipsticks. I used to like them, and then the winter time rolled around and my lips were like a desert because it was so dry. You know, the winter weather is just really dry and like cold and everything's dehydrated on your face. Even if you've oily skin, you're still dehydrated. And I wore a couple of these. I think it was Little Stitches. My Invisalign is just giving me an awful lisp today. And Midi. These were 2 of my favorites, and I'll swatch them for you now. Actually, to be honest, they're quite similar in shade. I absolutely love them. These dehydrated my lips something terrible. I don't know if you can see them there. But this is Midi and this is Little Stitches. Little Stitches is a tiny bit warmer and there's not as much like purple in it. I love all the Colourpop liquid lipsticks for their shade. They are beautiful. And the Ultra Matte lip is just way too drying on my mouth. I don't generally suffer too much with dry lips or anything like that, so I just don't understand why they dry out my lips as much as they do, but I'm not a fan. I don't recommend them. But yeah, these do get an awful lot of hype here on YouTube. I have a ton of colours. I have more in my collection. However, I feel like I can't wear them because they just dry out my lips so badly, and I just feel they're just so uncomfortable. I'm not a big fan of liquid lipsticks. I'm gonna put that out there. I just don't really like them. I love the Milani ones. They're probably the only ones that I can actually wear, and the Lipland ones are fabulous on the lips as well. These just dry out my lips way too much. Same with the Kylie lip kits, and I feel like they're the same formula. I think somebody mentioned that before. Next up is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit. Everybody talks about this. Everybody, every single person. Like if you mention Anastasia, they're like, oh yeah, their glow kits are amazing. Everybody knows about them. And I have the shade here, That Glow. So there is 4 pans in it. Now this is quite an expensive product. I think you're looking around 40 euro, maybe more. I could be wrong. Are they worth the hype? Yes, I actually think that these are worth the hype. The reason why is because the formula of them is like no other formula. I know every single company has a highlight out at the moment, or highlighters. They are beautiful. I really, really, really like them. For me, this palette is worth it because I use it quite a lot, and I think if I only had this palette in my collection of highlighters, I'd be pretty happy out. I like all of them. I wear them all. This one, like I said, I can wear it more in the summertime, but I would probably only wear it on like my collarbones and stuff like that. It wouldn't be something I'd wear on my face. I 100% think that this palette is worth it because you get the 4 shades in it. 40 euro or 38 euro, whatever it is, isn't actually too bad considering how much a Becca highlighter is, or considering even how much some of MAC's highlighters are. I think this is definitely worth it for the price and for the quality of the product inside. So I would definitely rate this. Next, I want to talk about a product that was virtually impossible to buy for months, and I only ended up getting it, I'd say in January when I went over to London. I got it in the duty free in the Loop, and it is the Heavy Metals Glitter Liquid Liners from Urban Decay. I have mentioned before that their under eye concealer is one of my favorite concealers ever. This is definitely a very hyped up product, and it is well within its right to be hyped up because it is an amazing product. For me, Urban Decay is a brand that I don't really like that much, and I'm gonna put that out there. I'm not really, like, it's not that I don't like it, I never find anything from the brand that I'm overly keen about, but when I do find something that I like, it's love. Like, it's not even like, oh yeah, I kind of like it. And it's like, no, I'm in love. I'm obsessed with this. If this ever runs out, I need to repurchase it. And that is how I feel about their glitter liners. I have the shade Midnight Cowboy. It was the one that I just wanted to test out in the day, and I'm definitely going to pick up more because it is such a wonderful glitter liner. It's so pigmented. You can actually see it on your eye, and I just feel like it lasts all day. I love it. And just a little bit of it in the inner corner, not too in the inner corner, is beautiful, and even under the lower lashes and everything. I love it so much. It's definitely worth the hype for me. I have tried tons of glitter liners that just don't show up, so good work Urban Decay with this. The next thing that is super overhyped this side of the water, more so than over in the US, and this is the Lasting Perfection Concealer from Collection. Collection used to be called Collection 2000 when I was like very young, like grown up, and I heard Fleur de Forest talk about this first. She was going crazy over this concealer, and I actually owned it at the time when it was Collection 2000, but I just never really understood how to use it properly. But when I saw her placing it underneath her eyes, I was like, ah, that's how you use it properly. I was like dabbing it on my face wherever I had spots and been like, it's just a concealer. But it does actually cover up so much. It's a really, really, really highly rated concealer. It costs like €4 or €5. So inexpensive, and it lasts for so long. It doesn't crease underneath my eyes. I'm wearing it today. It's actually the first concealer I've worn in a while that hasn't creased underneath my eyes. My under eye area was really dehydrated there for ages, and my eyeshadows were creasing constantly. So I don't know if it's the setting powder I used, which was the e.l.f. under eye setting powder, or this, or just a combination of both, but my under eye area looks really, really bright today, and it hasn't creased at all. This concealer is bomb. Fleur was right all those years ago, and I still stand by this being one of the best concealers from the drugstores, and you will not regret it if you do pick it up. Next, I want to talk about Kylie's eyeshadow palettes. Everybody raved about Kylie Cosmetics. Around this time last year, everybody was going crazy for it. Like, I mean, people were like getting onto the website at godforsaken hours and queuing up to try and buy her products. The same with the eyeshadows. They first launched, I think, last July or August, somewhere thereabouts. I had to jump on the bandwagon to pick them up. The first palette that came out was the bronze palette. So this is what the bronze palette looks like, and this is what the burgundy palette looks like. So they are gorgeous looking palettes, as you can see there. Beautiful. And I have gotten a good amount of use out of the burgundy palette. Do I recommend them? Let me think. The bronze palette, 100% no. The hype about the bronze palette is just way too much. I mean, the shades in it are grand, they're pitch and air. I mean, most neutral eyeshadow palettes kind of have all of these shades. The black is very disappointing in pigmentation. This shade in the middle is kind of one of my favorites, and it's just okay. The pigmentation is definitely much better in these two Kylie palettes than the Royal Peach palette. We won't even go there with that. Whereas these ones were not as bad. The bronze palette, like I said, no, you don't need it. The pigmentation is only so-so. This palette, however, is a much more superior palette and much more highly pigmented. I actually really, really like this palette. And I know I said I'd never buy any more of Kylie's products, so them swatched there, but I will use obviously the ones I have. The only reason I'm not going to buy any more of her products is just because I haven't seen anything that I'm crazy about, kind of like Urban Decay. I'm just not going to buy anything until something really unique and different comes out from those brands. But yes, I do recommend the burgundy palette. I think it is lovely. I don't think you'd be going wrong with the burgundy palette if these shades are your cup of tea, which they 100% are mine. I mean, the Renaissance palette, hello. This is beautiful. Really like it. The pigmentation is quite exceptional compared to like the Royal Peach palette, which I don't know what happened there. And the bronze palette was only so-so with pigmentation, whereas this was pretty bomb. Like, I liked most of them, and it's not a ride or die palette for me now or anything, but it is definitely a recommendation. So I do agree with the hype on this, not so much with the hype on the bronze palette. And then the Royal Peach palette, like, no, don't even go there. Just don't do it. Save yourself the money. Okay, another really, really hype product here across all social media platforms has got to be the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I mean, everybody knows about this powder. I mean, even my friends who are not into makeup know about the Laura Mercier translucent powder. When you hear the two words translucent powder, what comes to your mind straight away? Because I know for me, it's Laura Mercier. I just think Laura Mercier translucent powder. It just like runs off the tongue. Yes, this is worth the hype. particularly for me, I think it is a sensational setting powder. I use this all over my face. I don't bake. I know some people do, but I don't. But I just find that this is amazing at setting your face. I have seen people bake with this and they swear by it for that reason. For me, I just think it sets my face amazingly well, especially if I'm wearing cream products like cream contouring or anything like that. This sets my face like nothing else. I love it like so much. All the hype about it is true. It is expensive, yes, but it is worth it in my opinion. Every cent. It's, you know, just go and buy it. Get it. Go on. You won't regret it. So the final products I actually want to talk about are from a brand. So the brand that I want to discuss is Morphe brushes. Morphe gets an awful lot of stick here online. I just want to put it out there. I don't have a Morphe code. I'm not affiliated to Morphe in any way whatsoever. I'm on their pure list, so I do get products sent to me every now and again. But the majority of the products I actually own from Morphe, I have bought myself with my own money. I would consider myself very, very honest. If I don't like something, I don't like something, and I will say it to you guys, because the last thing I would want to do is recommend something to you guys. You go and buy it and you say, Aisling, that was junk. Like, I really didn't like it. 1 out of maybe 100 of my followers who might buy something might not like it. That's just down to personal taste. I don't want somebody to not like something because they're saying, you know, the quality was rubbish, whatever it may be. I will only recommend things to you guys that I know have a good formula, good price tag, they're a reliable company. You're not going to, you know, they're not too shady or anything like that. But Morphe is a brand that is very, very overhyped here. I can open this. And this palette in particular is one of their most overhyped products. And this is the Morphe 35O. Now, I have an awful lot of love for this palette. I highly recommend it. If the shades are your cup of tea, you will love this palette. I get a ton of use out of it. I love it. I recommend it. Go buy it if you like it too. You will not be disappointed. The quality of the shadows are lovely. The shades are great. They're quite pigmented. I have nowhere to swatch anymore. Let's just go down here. You know, you're getting decent payoff. The palette is super affordable. And I buy most of my Morphe, if I am buying it, from Beauty Bay, just because Morphe's shipping prices are pretty high. I don't understand that. So to get stuff to Ireland from Morphe is expensive. So I buy all my brushes and my palettes from Beauty Bay. I actually enjoy all of their palettes. Another one of their palettes that I really like is the 35K. It's more of a cool tone, which is kind of weird for me to actually like a cool tone palette, but I do really enjoy this as well. And then they did send me out one of their newer palettes that I haven't actually gotten around to trying out, but I'm sure I will like it as well. I do like all the quality of their shadows. Now the brushes. I've owned Morphe's brushes for years. I bought them myself first with my own money. I got sent like a little pack of them as well, about 10, 15 of them in it, and I loved each and every one of them. And then I buy my own eye brushes now. They very rarely send me brushes at all. These are some of their eye brushes that I absolutely love now. They are filthy, but they don't shed for me, and you know, I use them quite a lot. Like, there's not one single hair coming off. I really like them, and I can't say that I don't like them. If I do like them, I do. I really like these brushes, in particularly the M504 and the M502. These two are like my lifesaver crease blending brushes. I love them. And then also the M503 as well, because it's just a great kind of smaller brush to get right into the crease. I really, really enjoy these brushes. I recommend them. If you get the same batch as me, then I'd highly recommend them. But I don't know, like, I can't say as a whole if the hype is worth it, because if you're getting brushes and they're shedding, or you're getting eyeshadow palettes and they're not pigmented, or whatever it may be, then that's obviously not worth it for you. But for me, from my experience, I have had a great experience with the brand, and I do think that the hype with them is justified, because an awful lot of their palettes are amazing. I mean, they are very good at their marketing strategies. I mean, they definitely get their name out there. I do recommend them, and I do think the hype is justified, especially when you can get a €25 eyeshadow palette that performs amazingly well. But again, it's all down to personal preference if they're something that you're interested in. That is my full video, guys. Wow, I have probably talked for about a million gazillion years. I have so many products that I still want to talk about, so I'm gonna have to do another one of these videos. If that's something you would like to see, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what product you think is overhyped. Do you agree with it or do you disagree? Let me know. I'd like to read all that in the comments. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and hit that little bell, because that will give you notifications. You won't get notifications otherwise, because I don't know, YouTube is messing up my channel for some reason. Maybe they don't like me. Hit the bell, get the notifications, come back here, join me for another video, and yeah, we'll talk soon. I love you guys so much. Mwah.